Hey there! So guys, today we are going around Hanoi, Vietnam and checking out some of the most historical places here. Our first stop today is the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, which is featured behind me. We just had probably one of the craziest mornings that we've ever had since being in Vietnam so far. So yesterday we came here hoping to get in, see the mausoleum, and see the grounds. And we got turned away initially because we had our drone with us. You cannot get in with a drone. So a 20-minute walk here and a 20-minute walk back, we decided to scratch it for the day. We'd try it today. So fast forward to today. Their last entry into the mausoleum is 10:15. We got here at 10 o'clock to the security point that we arrived to yesterday. Figured that it was closed and we walked all the way around the grounds to the absolute opposite side, and they were letting people in, so we got through at that security checkpoint right before they closed it. The security check-ins are absolutely incredible here. We had no idea what we were doing. They had us leave all of our bags, so our tripod, our backpack, but we were able to take our cameras with us, so we left all of our baggage there. Then we took all of our cameras, we filed into a line that was actually moving pretty quickly, and then they said, okay, no, you have to leave all your cameras here. We had to leave all of our cameras at a different location. So we unpacked all of our gear, gave it to them, they said, you'll pick it up on the other side. And this is how they keep you from filming what's on the inside of the mausoleum. On the inside of the mausoleum is the beloved Vietnamese leader, Ho Chi Minh. He was a beloved leader here for numerous years, many years ago, and he is preserved in a glass coffin, pretty perfectly preserved, and it was very quick. They kept people moving, but we went around, saw all three sides of him, and then exited the mausoleum. That's what brought us out to here, and the body of Ho Chi Minh is inside this building behind me.
And just to touch on the inside of the mausoleum just a little bit more. From my personal experience, there was a little creepy vibe to it. You are in this line back here at the front of the mausoleum. Everyone's walking slowly. You cannot take out your phone. There's guards everywhere making sure that no pictures are taken at all. Again, they've already taken all our gear. Once you get in and turn a corner, it is dark. Like, the hallway is dark. You turn another corner, it gets even darker. And then as soon as you step foot into the center room, you see a beam of red light. And this beam of red light is basically showcasing Ho Chi Minh's body. And when we say his body, we don't mean a wax body. His actual body has been preserved with formaldehyde, which was kind of a horrifying sight, if I can use that word. Just to know that it was his actual body sitting there, perfectly preserved. He had facial hair. Like, it was hard to put into words how I felt, but I almost felt like his eyes were gonna pop open and there was gonna be a loud boom. Scary.
Another interesting fact in my research upon Ho Chi Minh and the mausoleum is that this is not what Ho Chi Minh himself wanted. He did not want to be set up like this for people to see. In his will, his wishes were to be cremated and his ashes to be scattered throughout the north to south of his country. But they wanted him to live on forever as their beloved leader. So guys, we just moved up a little bit closer and saw that we were actually one of the last groups to go in. There is no longer a line and they are not letting anybody in. They have very strict hours, strict days that they are open. Make sure you research the hours and the days that they are open if you're interested in visiting the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. We're getting a banh mi sandwich today with pate. It comes with pickled vegetables and lots of fresh herbs. Banh mi sandwich. Very traditional meal here. Kind of the pick up and go fast food type of a thing. This cost us 50 cents. We got one with pate, pickled vegetables, light salad in there, and lots of fresh herbs. And it's nice and toasty. And it looks like we've got this kind of maybe hot, sweet and sour sauce on there. Let's try it. Some in there is spicy, but the pate is good. really freshen it up. But there is a kick.
Yo guys, we have made it to the Temple of Literature.
Second stop on our history tour of Hanoi. A little backstory on this temple. It was built in 1070 for Confucius. In 1076, they actually made an academy and they started enrolling students here.
And that school lasted until the 1700s.
This entire place, since 1070, through time and all the wars and some restoration, they have still kept the original architecture and style.
So the entire Temple of Literature has 5 different courtyards. We are currently in the 3rd courtyard, and this courtyard has the most historical relics. So here in the middle we have this sacred well, and it is called the Well of Heavenly Brilliance. And on either end there are stone relics that are shaped as tortoises to represent permanence. On the stone relics are 1,304 names of the students that passed the 82 examinations to become mandarins and assist the king. Any land-owning male was able to participate in the examination process unless they were a criminal, a musician, or a singer, or going through mourning.
This is the last and 5th courtyard here in the temple area, and this is actually where the academy was, where classes were taken until 1779. So this is the end of the Temple of Literature, and to be honest, it was a little bit different than I had thought, because yes, it is Temple of Literature, but then I heard it was a university, and I kind of like that mix, but still very incredible to see all this history and what it was made into, what it was back then. Very, very interesting, and I'm glad we stopped by. Our next stop on the History of Hanoi tour, we're going to Hao Lo Prison, also known as Hanoi Hilton.
Before we head to the prison, we stopped off at a little cafe. History episode. We have some more history coming your way. We have ordered the Vietnamese egg coffee.
They started making it back in the day when they didn't have any milk. It was a substitute for milk to make it creamy. And it wasn't as popular back in the day because they couldn't figure out how to whisk it. It was being whisked by hand and it wasn't the right consistency. Now with the invention of blenders and that sort of a thing, they have now gotten it to the perfect consistency.
It's really thick.
Super thick. It's almost like if you put it into an oven, it would turn into a souffle. I'm not sure how this is gonna go.
Okay, and it's also in this like dish of hot water.
Wow, it's actually really good.
My turn.
It's really sweet.
I don't like it.
But you just still do get that coffee taste out of it. It's just a little sweet, a little creamy. It's kind of nice. Alright guys, we are at our final destination on our Hanoi Historical tour today. And we are at Maison Centrale, which is also known as Hao Lo Prison or Hanoi Hilton. It is a vast colonial-styled prison that was mostly torn down during the 1990s. But right now we're gonna go in and check it out. We are currently in Cell D, which was the main area for kept male prisoners. And right behind me is actually the main gate to Hao Lo Prison. Currently today, Maison Centrale is more of a museum. American POWs have well documented their experiences that they had here, and that completely differs from what you see here today. Most of these cell areas were really only supposed to be used for about 40 different inmates at a time. There are times though where there were 100 people stuffed inside of these walls at a time, and it was crazy. The Blue Room was used for interrogation and torture. There are horror stories told by American POWs, including presidential nominee John McCain. This is Cachet, which is the dungeon area, which is told to be the hell of hells here. There were dark and narrow alleyways, and the prisoners were secluded, and it was just an awful, awful scene here. So right here are some underground sewers that in 1945 political prisoners actually escaped out of. There is another part of a sewer over here. It said that there were 5 political prisoners that escaped. 3 succeeded and were able to rejoin the fight.
This prison was built by French colonists in 1896, and the French were the people that imprisoned the Vietnamese political revolutionaries. Later on, this prison was used for the American POWs during the Vietnam War.
Alright guys, so that's going to do it for How Low Prison today, and it concludes our Hanoi Historic Tour today. There are so many things that happened here, although it doesn't look like it, it's more of a museum than what had actually happened. The history here, I've become to understand it a little bit more, and what happened.
Before we close out this video, if you could only go to one of these places today, which one would you visit? I would say definitely the prison. Especially if you're very much into history and seeing those types of sites, this is the spot for you. But it also kind of hit home as, you know, it was something that I learned in school but didn't really completely understand. And having a grandfather that was in the Vietnam War, I had more of a connection to it, I felt. I think if you could only visit one, my recommendation would be the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. I say that just because it was such a harrowing thing to see for me. I can't really explain it. It was just crazy to see, knowing that that was a real person right there, not like a wax figure.
Well, and he did a lot for the country of Vietnam itself, so a lot of history there too. If you guys enjoyed the historical sites of Hanoi here, please make sure to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you next episode.